Hey guys, June Margolin, Diane Shaver from Huntington Matters. We got a call from Jillian Guthman, the receiver of taxes for the town of Huntington, with some important updates about this particular month of tax payments when you have to do your property taxes. That's due twice a year. And if you don't get it taken out automatically by your mortgage, you end up having to come down to the town of Huntington or mail your check in, etc. So there are new options, and there's a very not good financial scam going on right now that's actually quasi-targeting this time of year because of big tax payments. So so we have the inspector here to talk to you about that, along with some detectives from the Financial Crimes Unit. So we're gonna come on over, we're gonna flip the camera around, and they're waiting for us down there. But we just wanted to also show you how simple it is to come pay your taxes. You just go through the front door of Town Hall, and it's your first left, and it's right down here at the end of the hall. So we're gonna turn around and have a chat with everybody. All right, here we go. Thanks so much for having us.
Thanks for coming.
Great. And then I saw this. This is great. This is like a walkthrough of how to fill out your checks with all the information that you need. And this very friendly sign right here pointing you in the right direction. So this is Jillian Guthman, our fabulous receiver of taxes.
Oh, thank you, June.
You're welcome. And what's the changes that we have?
Well, May 31st is the deadline for the second half property tax. As you know, there's a January 10th and a May 31st deadline. And when those dates fall on either a legal holiday or a weekend, it extends to the next business day. So in this case, May 31st is going to create the January 2nd deadline. Ooh, I'm sorry, June 2nd.
It's okay.
June 2nd deadline. And one extra business day, so June 2nd.
That's awesome. And there is an additional payment option, right? A new way.
That's correct. So in December, with the beginning of this tax year, we launched a new payment modality with Forte as our third-party provider. And so now you can make a payment online via an e-check for $1.75. You can pay using your debit card for a flat fee of $3.95, or by credit card, any credit card, including American Express, for a fee of 2.35%. Now,
which is less than the usual.
Yes. And I wish we didn't have to charge anything to take those big checks from people, but we don't transfer that fee onto the taxpayer. So if you elect to use the service, you absorb the third-party fee that's associated with the transaction.
Right, and the inspector will let us know. Inspector Williams, thank you so much for coming today. It's so important that we let our neighbors know what's going on right now with this financial scam that is actually related to checks. So if you could let us know what's happening.
Sure. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Inspector Kevin Williams, Commanding Officer of the 2nd Precinct. We're here today to try and get out some important information to the public about a crime we refer to in the police department called check washing. It's basically a forgery of a type, and I'm fortunate to be joined today by two detectives from our Financial Crimes Unit, Detective Tom Perillo and Detective Anthony DeLuca. So they're going to get into more detail about exactly what check washing is. So I'm going to pass it over to them, and they're going to explain it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Let me zoom out a little bit so I get both of you. Okay, go ahead.
So check washing is when the check is stolen, when it is in transit, when the information is wiped and it is not authorized by the sender. The information we are seeing really is some of the information is being altered and sold on Telegram and basically in the hands of bad guys. What we do suggest is use a black gel pen if you are to send physical checks. It is harder to remove that sort of ink. We also suggest you check your account information on a daily basis if you are going to send a physical check.
Try and get watermark checks too, stamp checks. That watermark checks and stamp checks help make it harder for them to do this.
So from like a you buy your check service kind of
Yes.
thing. Can you get them through your bank too?
You can order special checks.
Okay,
Yes.
that's great. And you were telling me earlier about this crazy digital thing they're doing now.
Yeah, so when they get these checks, sometimes they're scanning them and washing them using AI and digital,
Oh.
and then they're selling them.
And Telegram is, what is Telegram?
It's almost like a black web.
It's an app that is basically like a dark web.
Like a dark web. So essentially they can write any dollar amount too, right? On
Yes,
these
AI
checks.
would be the easier way to do that. They are still washing the checks with chemicals, though, and they do still do that and cash them. But it seems to be shifting into more electronic things.
And what about using a black Sharpie, like a fine Sharpie? Is that discouraged, or you think the gel pens are better?
What we are seeing is the gel pens are better.
Okay, great.
Anything you do to make it more difficult for them.
Yeah, that's
Avoid it.
great. That's great. And then the bank, is the bank have any kind of methods to block any of this stuff coming through? Have you seen that? A little more cooperation with the banks?
Online banking, there's really not too much between us and the banks. We try to subpoena them and get information as fast as we can. There's a little bit of leeway between that time. The best way to do it is to look at your own accounts and make sure that you are, if you do mail out a check or have any information going out that you wouldn't want someone to have, check your account all the time.
Right.
Check it at least once a week.
Right.
There is a time period where if it is the banks, not the bank's full fault, but if they've been scammed too, they will potentially try and reimburse you as long as you do it within a safe time frame.
Right, I think it's like, right, what did we say, that 60 days, right? We've had some people attending. Yeah, my mom actually had this happen to her a couple of years ago.
You should be checking your account more than that, though, anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
You should be at least checking your account twice a week.
And the inspector recommends during the precinct meetings that you actually look at your check. Like, you look at the digital copy of your check when you do check your account to make sure that the information you wrote is the information that's actually still on your check.
100%.
And if you detect anything, definitely reach out to your bank, and then maybe you also want to do one of these credit monitoring services, being that this digital thing, that's terrifying with AI. I had no idea. That's disgusting.
So it's also always good to know your credit monitoring. If you can freeze your credit at any time.
Yeah.
And they'll, like we were talking about before, they'll have to reopen your credit, basically, to make a big purchase or do something like that.
Right. So, I mean, back to Jillian, thank you for finding this digital option for the neighbors, because this is really dangerous to put a regular check in the mail, right?
One other suggestion,
Yeah,
if
go
I may,
ahead.
Joe. To mail the check physically, we recommend that you go actually into the post office and put it in the mailbox that is inside the post office. Not really use the ones outside the post office that are on the street, and definitely don't leave it in your personal mailbox to be stolen maybe at nighttime by somebody that sees mail hanging out of your mailbox. So go to the post office and mail it inside the post office. That would be a good recommendation.
Excellent. And then if you have any problems with anything, what do they do if they get in trouble and they find this out? They call 911? Who do they call?
Yeah, always call 911 to start the report rolling, and then it'll probably get passed over to the financial crime.
And with regards to paying your taxes, sometimes it's easier to do it online or in person here.
Yeah, definitely in person. Let's talk to Jillian again about all those.
Right. Well, the in-person is always a safe option, and many people appreciate that because they can leave with their receipt. But if you're coming at a peak time, which is probably the end of December, beginning of January, or the last week and a half of May, there's going to be a line. It does move quickly, and you do get that benefit of the receipt when you do it in person. But in addition to that modality, the online options, paying over the phone, provide you with the safeguard of a safe way to do it, protecting your information, and also like that immediate confirmation that your payment has been made successfully.
Right, and the convenience. Now,
Yes.
do you mind taking us in to see what the setup is here?
Of
for
course.
For the office, if I'm going to come in and then this tax map situation, you should bring a copy of your bill.
Well, whenever you're paying your taxes, you want to come in with either your statement or your reminder notice. And for convenience, we do have access by this side door. So if you're paying in person,
Look at that.
it's right on Irwin Place. You can come right in.
Oh, so you don't have to deal with that crazy parking lot.
No. Well, you're still in that lot. Like, usually there's a loop that's reserved for taxpayers, or there's spots on the street,
Great.
So the parking, terrible here, but we try to do the best that we can to be accessible.
Yeah.
But you come in, you have a reminder as to the components that need to be on the bill. you know, the telephone number, a tax map number, a property address, key things. Also, a current error that people make is not having the numerical amount matching the numbers. So just, you know, be very attentive. Look, everyone is so busy. We have so many things that we're trying to juggle, and sometimes we make mistakes, but that's something that could be a problem with the tax payment.
All right, so bring your whole checkbook in case you screwed it up the first time.
And so this is our home. This is where people come in, and one of the
Oh, you have 5 stations.
5 stations, and we have processing stations in the back, but in terms of receiving people, we have 5 active stations.
And your hours of operation are?
9 to 4 for payments.
Okay.
The office hours are 8 a.m. to 5:30, but as you can imagine, we're here much later than 5:30. But in terms of answering phones and interacting with the public, that generally ends at 5:30.
And what's the most frequently asked questions when people call on the phone that they're asking you for information? Is it personal about their own accounts, or is it like something general about the office that we
It's
could clear up
usually
now?
it's something usually specific to their property. We get a lot of inquiries, especially this time of the year with tax grievances.
Oh, yes.
So,
that
you
too.
know, everyone's trying to make the assessment with their taxes to make sure that they're not overpaying. Because it's a big bill. You can finish paying your mortgage and your taxes are, you know, leave a greater financial burden than your mortgage.
Yeah. Very good. All right, and then, so this is the information, I saw the sign about here it is. This is the information about paying online, and that's the name of Forte, and what's the website?
It's Town of Huntington. You would go to my page on that, which is the receivers page, and then there's the table of contents that have everything from payment instructions to the link to pay and everything in between. And so just to go over the different ways people can pay, of course in person, encouraged online, phone payments, options for people that are not computer savvy but can still effectuate a credit card payment or an e-check payment over the phone.
You can do an e-check over the phone?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, great.
Yeah, or debit card.
Right.
Mail, of course, if you are paying by mail, not just bring it inside the post office, you might as well take that extra step and get a date stamp, because a timely payment is a payment that is not just received here by the deadline, but it could just be postmarked.
Right, like stamped, like when you do your income taxes and you
Yeah,
go
so
to
you
the
want
clerk and you get
that
stamp.
confirmation that it's stamped, and it
Right,
would,
and it's safer to hand it to the
absolutely.
postal person.
Right, so you have those modalities, you have the black box outside, which can be utilized, so
Every
beyond all
possible
of that,
way.
yes, many different ways to pay. The office is very responsive, and we're always here to help, and we want to be a resource however we can.
Thank you so much for this, Jillian. It's so
Thank you.
important, and it helps the members and our neighbors with all their questions, because all these things come up last minute always, because you're like pushing and pushing the deadline. I know that's me, that's my life, but this is great to know in advance, and to just take a little bit of time, take an extra day or two to plan to come in and pay your taxes.
And
or
the
do it
earlier
on
you
the
come,
internet.
the less likely you'll have a line if you're paying in person.
Right, exactly. That's great.
But
Awesome.
we're here, we're receptive. On June 2nd,
Yeah.
the final day to pay on time, we will be receiving payments until 7 p.m.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's great. Okay, good to know. There'll probably be a line. Be prepared.
But you know what?
To them.
Huntingtonians are wonderful.
We are,
And
yeah.
so the likelihood, my estimate is that we'll only have a trickle of people that will come on the 2nd late.
That's awesome. Very good.
But thank you, June. Thanks for doing this and bringing this vital information to the community. The check washing scams really a hardship for anyone that's
Yeah.
a victim of that. You know, who has thousands of discretionary dollars to
Yeah.
throw away.
And it doesn't come back to you very quickly.
It takes time.
It takes
It takes
a
time.
lot of time. Yeah, it took my mom like 4 months. She was scammed out of over $6,000, and it took her 4 months to get the money back.
I
from
mean,
the
you
bank.
think about how many people are living paycheck to paycheck
Yeah.
in this world that is so expensive.
Yeah.
That those type of financial crimes can be crippling to a family. So
Absolutely.
thank you for bringing attention to this.
Thanks, Jillian.
Thank you.
We'll see you soon. Thank you so much, Inspector. When's the next community meeting? When can we see you next?
It'll be the first Tuesday in June, which is the second.
Wait, hold on.
Hold
Resource
on.
girl, here she goes. This is what she does
June
best. On your market
June
set.
3rd
June 3rd.
June 3rd.
There we go.
Okay,
And
at
we
the
are
South
at,
Huntington
at the South Huntington Library at 7 o'clock at night.
and where can you find information about that, Diane?
On the
HuntingtonMatters.com
HuntingtonMatters.com calendar.
Hey, all right, sounds good.
Thank you guys so much for coming. We appreciate it. It was a pleasure meeting you. And
See you
we'll
at the
see you in
meeting.
a couple weeks.
All right,
Okay,
sounds
bye.
good.